FDR was his he was a rich child. He grew up in a rich family. He met President Cleveland when he was like 8 or 9, and he knew people. In 1921, I believe, he became a subject of polio, and from that time on, he was determined. He was very stubborn and he had a lot of passion for everything that he believed in, and from that time on, he was not going to let his handicap to get him down and to handicap him. In 1933, he ran for president and was successful. Or in 1932, he ran for president, became president in 33, the same year that Hitler came to power. Now, the Great Depression had been going on since 1929, so he got thrown into a position where the country was falling and crumbling around him. His first inaugural address, he stated, "We have nothing to fear but fear itself." And he brought the country up. He brought them back together, and ended the Great Depression. Everybody loved FDR because of what he was able to do. He had a lot of executive power, so he was able to fix the things that he felt needed to be fixed. He had the Emergency Banking Act. He took us off the gold standard, and I think good and bad came out of what he did. He got thrown into World War II, and sided with the Allies, and we came out victorious. And it was because of America that the Allies did win the war. And in 1945, he died of, I believe it was a stroke.
Okay, cool. Good job. That was a great overview of him. How do you feel about FDR personally? What's your opinion of him as the president?
Okay, I'm not going to hold anything back because all's everything in an oral exam. I feel that he had too much executive power. Now, I like that he was able to get what he needed done. Everybody loved him. He was so persuasive. I have learned a lot from his speeches that he gave, how to speak, how to persuade. But his presidential actions, I believe, were over the top. He had too much power as one man, or as an executive branch.
What have been the ramifications of that exercise of executive power?
He took us off the gold standard. That has led to it was a bit more stable in the beginning because he was able to print more money. But he made it so that there's so much fluctuation and inflation with currency that it's pretty unstable. His Emergency Banking Act, I believe he had a bit too much power then, and also his alphabet soup agencies.
Tell me about the Great White Fleet.
Okay, the Great White Fleet was Teddy Roosevelt commissioned a Great White Fleet of ships to circumnavigate the Earth. They stopped at different ports. There wasn't really negotiations going on, but they basically said hi to people, and it was kind of a morale booster, and it gave them something to be proud of. So we circumnavigated the Earth and went and visited these different countries. You can kind of compare it to Amelia Earhart's attempt to circumnavigate.
Okay, tell me about
the
Battle of Britain.
Okay, the Battle of Britain. Hitler had basically taken the French. He was at his peak. and he he had his amazing blitzkrieg tactic was he put into power over the Battle of Britain, um, and he just bombed them. And the London Blitz happened during the Battle of Britain. It was 7 days of complete consecutive bombing, and I don't know much about Britain's history, but that was pretty low. They got down low after the Battle of Britain. Um, the Royal Air Force was wiped out, and they were pushed so far back. It he Hitler bombed like the House of Commons, and he just attacked these civilians. So it was pretty brutal what happened in the Battle of Britain, and you know we I think because of the Battle of Britain, if America hadn't come to the Allies' side, Hitler would have reigned and taken over everything, and it would have been bad. But I believe it was in 1940 to 1941 was the Battle of
Yeah,
Britain.
good job. James, I'm done. Go ahead.